Hello student, this is Pallab Darbari, your host, and you're watching Pallab Darbari classes. In this video, we will discuss Chapter 9 Business Studies Class 12th Financial Management. This is Volume 5 of the chapter Financial Management. In this video, we will discuss financial leverage. Listen, financial leverage is used to describe the ability of a firm to use fixed cost assets or funds to increase the return on its equity shareholders. In a very simple word, we can say that under the financial leverage, the fixed cost is being used so that the per value of the equity share should increase and the equity shareholder should get the maximum benefit. A leverage activity with the financial activity is called financial leverage. Listen, when I say leverage activity, it means the activity which is supposed to minimize the efforts for the maximum output. So leverage the activity with the financial activity. It means effort should be made so that the financial activity should be enhanced and the maximum benefit should be attained or should be given to the equity shareholders. Financial leverage is thus defined as the ability of a firm to use fixed financial charges. When I say fixed financial charges, it means that the firm should use interest on debt or fixed obligation to magnify the effect of change in the EBIT, so that the EBIT, that is earning before interest and tax, should result in the increase on the earning per share. Financial leverage in a very simple word can be said as a proportion of debt in the overall capital of the firm. It means the percentage of debt on the overall capital of the firm. Because of that percentage, the earning per share should be increased. Listen, there are two types of financial leverages. One is called the favorable financial leverage and the other is called the unfavorable financial leverages. So how many types of the financial leverage do we have? We are having two types of financial leverage. I think the concept of the financial leverage is clear to everyone. In a very simple word, what is financial leverage? It means proportion of debt in the overall capital of the firm. That is called financial leverage. And financial leverage can also be defined as the ability of a firm to use fixed financial charges, that is interest on debentures, to magnify the effect of change in EBIT on the earning per share. Let us see the financial leverage. The formula to calculate the financial leverage is debt upon equity. Try to understand it with the example. Suppose under the debt the debenture loan comes. The value of the debenture is 3 lakh rupees. The value of the loan is 1 lakh rupees and the equity is 2 lakh rupees. So according to the formula, what should be the financial leverage? Put the value 3 lakh rupees plus 1 lakh rupees divided by 2 lakh rupees. So here the financial leverage will be 2 times. So in short, we can say that the percentage of debt over the overall capital of the firm is 2 times. It means debt is 2 times on the equity. And with this debt, we will magnify the effect on the earning profit before interest and tax. Remember one thing, there is one more formula to calculate the financial leverage, and the formula is debt upon debt plus equity. Let us see the same example we try to put. Debenture is 3 lakh rupees, loan is 1 lakh rupees, equity share is 2 lakh rupees. Let us see what is FL, financial leverage. Put the value 3 lakh plus 1 lakh divided by 4 plus 2. So the answer is 0.67 times. No doubt the answer is different, but these are the two formulas which we use to determine financial leverage. So these are two formulas to calculate the financial leverage. As I told you, there are two types of the financial leverage: favorable financial leverage and the unfavorable financial leverage. Listen, we use the concept of the financial leverage to determine the ideal capital structure. As I told you, financial leverage means what? It means the percentage of debt over the overall capital of the company. So with this financial leverage, we decide how much debt should be considered as the part of the capital, whether we should consider more debt as the part of the capital or we should consider less debt as a part of the capital. Listen, favorable leverage and the non-favorable leverage. It means with the help of the financial leverage, favorable financial leverage and unfavorable financial leverage, we decide the percentage of the debt in the overall capital of the firm. Let us see the favorable financial leverage first. What it is? It is that financial leverage in which the percentage of debt is more in the overall capital of the company. Listen, under the favorable financial leverage, the percentage of debt is more on the overall capital of the company. Under this, when the percentage of debt is more, the happiness of the equity shareholders increase. So under the favorable financial leverage, with the addition of debentures in the overall capital of the firm, the happiness of the equity shareholders increase. If more and more debt is considered as a part of the overall capital, equity shareholders becomes more and more happy. Why? Because under it, earning per share increase and the equity shareholder will get more and more benefits. Now let us see under the unfavorable financial leverage. It is that financial leverage in which if the percentage of debt is more in the overall capital of the company, then the happiness of the equity shareholders decrease. So under it, earning per share is falling down and the equity shareholder will start getting less and less benefit. So what happens under the favorable? Under the favorable, we have seen that more debt should be considered as a part of the capital. Why? Because the objective of the financial management will be fulfilled, that is maximization of wealth of equity shareholders. And under the unfavorable, percentage of debt should be less in the overall capital. Why? Because if we consider less debt in the overall capital, the equity shareholder will become happy. Otherwise the happiness will diminish, will be short-lived. Try to understand the concept of the financial and the favorable and the non-favorable leverage with the example. For the financial leverage, we take the example of a company A Limited, and for the unfavorable financial leverage, we take the example of company B Limited. Remember one thing, here we use the concept of EBIT EPS analysis. Which concept we will use over here? We will use EBIT EPS analysis. Take the example of the financial leverage, favorable financial leverage first, that is company A. In this example, we presume that the total fund is 30 lakh. Interest is 10% per annum. Interest means the interest that we have to pay on the debt. Tax rate is 30% and the EBIT, that is earning before interest and tax, is 4 lakh. This EBIT is the profit after all expenditure except interest and tax. So this 4 lakh rupees we have derived after paying all the tax except interest and tax. Remember one thing, here we can say that ROI is greater than cost of investment. Listen, in the case of the financial leverage, what I told you, in the case of financial leverage, I told you that the percentage of the debt should be more in the overall capital of the organization. Because if the percentage of debt is more, or if we start taking more money by the issue of debentures, the happiness of the equity shareholders will increase. Why it will increase? That we will see. Because under the financial leverage, return on investment is greater than cost of investment. Let us see what is ROI, that is return on investment. The formula to calculate the ROI is EBIT multiplied by 100 divided by total fund. Here the EBIT is 4 lakh rupees, that we can see over here. Total fund is 30 lakh rupees. So the EBIT is, ROI is 13%. So here we can say, and remember one thing, COI, that is cost of investment, the cost is 10%. So we can say that the return is more and the cost is less. In this case, it is always being advisable to take more money. If the ROI is greater than COI, then the more money should be raised, or it is profitable if we raise more money by the issue of debentures. Because if we raise more money by the issue of debentures, then the happiness of the shareholder will increase. Let us see the example. The condition is the same. Here we presume that the total fund is 30 lakh rupees, interest is 10%, tax is 30%, and the EBIT is 4%. We take two situations. Situation number one, the money that we raised by the issue of debenture is zero. Try to raise the entire money by the issue of equity shares, that is 30,000 rupees. So here the number of the equity share is 30,000 rupees. In this example, we have presumed that the per value of the share is 100. When we divide 30 lakh with 100, we will get the number of equity shares, that is 30,000 rupees. So in the situation 1, we have raised the entire money by the issue of equity shares, and the number of the equity share is 30,000 and the per value is 100. That is why the total money becomes 30 lakh. Situation 2, we have raised the money. For example, how much money we need? We need 30 lakh rupees. So out of 30 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees we raised by the issue of debentures, and remaining 20 lakh rupees we have raised by the issue of equity. So the number of equity share over here in the situation 2 becomes 20,000. Situation 3, 20 lakh rupees we raised by the issue of debentures, and the 10 lakh rupees we raised by the issue of equity. So here the number of the equity share becomes 10,000. Try to solve it. Situation 1, let us see. As I told you, EBIT is, what is the EBIT? EBIT is 4 lakh rupees. Interest, it means the money that we have to pay on the debentures. Listen, this is situation 1. Under the situation 1, have we raised any money by the issue of debentures? Answer is no, because the money raised by the issue of debenture is nil. So we don't have to pay any interest. Interest is 10%. How much interest we have to pay? 10%. But since we have not raised any money by the issue of debentures, so interest over here is 0. So the money that we get after paying the interest is the same 4 lakh rupees. Why? Because the interest amount is 0. Now pay the tax. Remember one thing, we have to pay the tax on the EBT. What is the value of the EBT? That is 4 lakh rupees. How much tax? Income tax I have to pay 30%. So 4 lakh, the 30% of 4 lakh is 1,20,000 rupees. So after paying the tax, we will get EAT, and the value of the EAT will be 2,80,000 rupees. How we get it? That is 4 lakh rupees minus 1,20,000, that is 2,80,000. Let us calculate the earning per share. Remember one thing, to calculate the earning per share, there is a formula, that is EAT divided by number of equity shares. In the situation 1, the total number of equity share is 30,000 rupees. So we divide 30,000 rupees EBT with the EAT, with 30,000 rupees, we get earning per share. What is the earning per share over here? The earning per share over here is 9.3. Now let us take the situation 2. Remember one thing, in this example, ROI is greater than COI. It means return is more and the cost is less. And we have seen that if the return is more and the cost is less, in this situation, if we raise more money by the issue of debentures, then the earning per share will increase and the equity shareholder will become more and more happy. Let us see, will they be happy or not, and how. Divided by 30,000 rupees, that is the value of the equity shares. Fine. And the earning per share is 9.3. So here the earning per share we got is 9.3. Now take the second example, that is situation 2. EBIT is 4 lakh rupees, the same. Interest is 1 lakh rupees. How? Listen, here the money that we have raised by the issue of debenture is 10 lakh rupees. How much interest I have to pay? 10%. So 10% of 10 lakh is 1 lakh rupees. So the EBT will be 3 lakh rupees. How? 4 lakh minus 1 lakh, that is 3 lakh rupees. The tax is 30%. It means 30% of 3 lakh rupees is 90,000 rupees. So EAT, it means earning after tax, is 2 lakh 1,000 rupees. Now let us calculate the earning per share. Earning per share, the formula is EAT divided by number of equity shares. Here the EAT is 2 lakh 10,000 rupees. Here the number of equity share is 20,000 rupees. So the earning per share is 10.5. So here we have seen that when the ROI is greater than COI, here the ROI is 13.33. We have seen earlier. And the COI is cost on investment is 10%. So here the return is more and the cost is less. In this situation, if we raise more and more money by the issue of debentures, the happiness of the equity shareholder will increase. That is, and how the happiness will increase? If the earning per share will increase, it means more and more people will invest the money in the equity shares, and the objective, that is maximization of the wealth of equity share, will be attained. So here we can see that when we raise the money by the issue of debentures, the earning per share increase. Here we can see. Now let us take the situation 2. Under the situation 2, the EBIT is same, that is 4 lakh rupees. Interest is 2 lakh rupees. How? Because the money that we raised by the issue of debenture over here is 20 lakh. 10% of 20 lakh is 2 lakh rupees. So the interest that we have to pay is 2 lakh. After paying the interest, the profit will be 2 lakh rupees. Then pay the tax. We have to pay the tax on 2 lakh rupees. 30% is there. It means 60,000 rupees will be the tax. Let us see, the profit, that is earning after tax, will be 140. Calculate the earning per share. Earning per share is EAT divided by number of equity share. EAT is 1,40,000 rupees, and here the number of equity share is 10,000 rupees. So the earning per share will become 14%. So here we can see that when the ROI is greater than COI, and when we raise more and more money by the issue of the debentures, the earning per share will increase. So in the favorable, and that is called favorable financial leverage. So in the favorable financial leverage, it is always being advisable to raise the money, to raise more and more money by the issue of debentures instead of share capital. Now take the example of the unfavorable financial leverage. Just take the example of the company B Limited. Here the total fund is the same, that is 30 lakh rupees, interest is 10%, tax is 30%, and EBIT, that is profit interest before tax, we have presumed 2 lakh rupees. Here the profit means profit after expenditure except interest and tax. Remember one thing, in this situation the ROI is less than COI. How? Let us see what is the value of the ROI. The formula to calculate the ROI is EBIT multiplied by 100 divided by total fund. Let us see the value of the EBIT. Here the value of the EBIT is 2 lakh rupees multiplied by 100 divided by total fund means 30 lakh rupees. So the ROI is 6.67. Here we can say that the ROI is less than COI. Why? Because 6.6% is less than 10%. Return on investment is at 10%. So in the case of unfavorable financial leverage, ROI is less than COI. Try to take it with the example. Total fund 30 lakh rupees, interest 10%, tax is 30%, EBIT 2 lakh rupees. Situation 1, we raise the entire money by the issue of equity shares. Number of equity share over here is 30,000. Situation 2, 10 lakh rupees is raised by the issue of debentures. The total money that we need is 30 lakh rupees. Out of the for this 30 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees being raised by the issue of debentures, and the remaining 2 lakh we raised by the issue of equity share. Number of equity share over here becomes 20,000 rupees. Under the situation 2, 20 lakh rupees we raised by the issue of debentures, and the remaining 10 lakh we raised by the issue of equity. So 20 lakh we raised by the issue of debentures, and 10 lakh we raised by the issue of equity. So the total number of the equity over here is 10,000 rupees. Per value share is 100. So 10 lakh divided by 100 is 10,000 rupees. Take the situation. EBIT over here is 2 lakh rupees. Interest. Remember one thing, situation when we don't have to pay any interest. Why? Because the money, no money is being raised by the issue of the debenture. So we don't have to pay any interest. So the EBT, that is profit after paying the interest, will be the same, that is 2 lakh rupees. The tax rate is 30%. So 30% of 2 lakh is 60,000 rupees. So the EAT will become 1,40,000. Let us calculate the earning per share. The formula is EAT divided by number of equity share. Here the number of equity share is 30,000. So the earning per share over here becomes 4.67. Take the situation 2. Under the situation 2, EBIT is 2 lakh rupees. Interest is 1 lakh. How? Because the money that we raised by the issue of debenture over here is 10 lakh rupees. 10% of 10 lakh is 1 lakh rupees. EBT will become 1 lakh. 2 lakh minus 1 is 1 lakh rupees. Tax, that is 30%. 30% of 1 lakh will be 30,000 rupees. Then the money that we get after paying the tax will be 60,000 rupees. Let us see the earning per share. Formula is EAT divided by number of equity share. Here the number of equity share is 20,000. So the earning per share over here becomes 3%. Listen, we can see over here, in the case of unfavorable financial leverage, if we raise more money by the issue of the debenture, the happiness of the equity shareholder will fall down. So it is always being advisable under the unfavorable financial leverage that the money should be raised by the issue of equity shares. Situation 2, EBIT is 2 lakh rupees, interest 2 lakh rupees. How? Because the money that we raised by the issue of debenture is 20 lakh rupees, 10% of 20 lakh is 2 lakh. So the earning after tax becomes nil, 0. We don't have to pay any tax. Why? Because we can't pay any tax, because it will be 0. So the EAT will be 0. Earning per share is also 0, because anything divided by 0 divided by anything is 0. So here we can see, when in the case of unfavorable financial leverage, if more and more money will be raised by the issue of debentures, the happiness or the objectives of the financial management will fall down. Earning per share will decrease. So it is being advisable that more money should be raised by the issue of equity share. Try to compare it. First is unfinancial financial leverage. ROI is under it. What is happening? ROI is less than COI, that we have seen. To calculate the ROI, let us see what is the value of the ROI. This is the way how we calculate the ROI. Take the example. Suppose the value of the ROI is 6.67. In the previous example, we have seen the value of the ROI is 6.67. So here we have seen that the ROI is less than COI. In the case of favorable financial leverage, ROI is greater than. Here the value of the ROI is 13.3%. So here the ROI is greater than this. So in the case of favorable financial leverage, it is always being advisable to raise the money by the issue of debentures, and in the case of unfinancial financial leverage, maximum money should be raised by the issue of equity. Here debentures, here equity. That's all I have in this video. Thanks for watching. God bless you all. Dear subscribers, if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that whenever I upload the new video, you get the notification.